Hello, and in this session, I'll be discussing with you how to create medications and your M.A.R using iCredabase. Once again, it all starts with coming to the existing client and finding the forms of that client that you want to create medication for or add medication. Now, I've already added one, but we will go through those steps so that you can see how it's done. Once again, if you have authorization for the provider area, you'll see medication create and you'll see step one. Clicking that, add medication button, you'll notice here that we've already inserted a medication, but we'll insert the second one. Okay, what I want to point out to you is some of the controls on here. You'll notice you have a discontinued checkbox. So if you discontinue a medication, as I will this one up here, it will automatically, once I save it, turn that area gray. So we're not gonna save it at this time, but if you do so, that's what happens. Okay, if it's a controlled medication, you can check this also so that it'll always be reminded that this medication needs to be filled out on your control med sheet. Now here, our system provides what we call auto suggest. So if the medication has been administered to some other client in your group home, just by typing in the letters, you notice that you can then once see what is already there. By doing that, does not mean that everything that you're going to see is correct. You will have to alter that information based off of your client. Now here you'll see that there's a date there, and that is because APD in some locations are now requiring that we put down what date the doctor wrote the prescription. And by doing this, I've given you more space in the dosage area so that it shows up on your M.A.R. Now, these instructions say the route is to take one tablet by mouth at bedtime. So, being that you only have to take one a day, what we'll do here is click one time. By clicking one time, that right there will allow for you on the next screen to be able to insert and create how many times a day this medication needs to be checked. Over here, we can click our drop down. If you've already added doctors to your listings for your clients in that group home, you can select the doctor just by clicking it and hitting save. Okay, once we have added that medication, we go on to step two. Step two, you'll notice that these areas are grayed, so you cannot change them. Anything that needed to be changed must be changed on the add medication area. Now we've added the medication, only thing we have to do is insert how many times a day and when will this medication start being administered. So for just demonstration purposes, we'll use the 1st of November through the 30th of November. And after you do that, these areas over here, TOD, time of day. So for the first time that this is going to be administered, the time of day, we'll say that this thing says at bedtime, so we'll say that the bedtime is 7 p.m. Now, being 7 p.m. is going to be the bedtime, what we'll do is we'll click that, hit OK. I want to point out something to you that nothing else will highlight because we've only set one time a day, so that's the only time you will be able to administer it. It will not allow you to add extra dates. After that is done, you just click the save button. And that is all we have to do for the medication time. The last step is this part that we want to make sure we get correct. Over here to the left, when you first come on the screen, you'll notice select month, select year. This is very important that this matches the dates that you're going to be administering medication. So November 2016 is what we've said is the date for these medications to be administered. This is the one that we want to create a record for. So by coming over here, putting your mouse over the create records, clicking and holding for about 2 to 3 seconds and letting go. That is all it takes. Your medication is now prepared and ready for your employees to use it on the M.A.R. So we're going to close these screens as if our employee is logging in from their home and now they're getting ready to go to the M.A.R. By doing so, the employee comes down here to daily tasks and it's a button that says M.A.R. for medication administration. Now, once they come here, it automatically populates today's date in here. However, we're going to go and pretend as if this is the 1st of November. So we'll go to the 1st of November, 2016. We'll click the Find button, and it will show us the medications. You may not have seen the change, but the change is there. So now as we look for the first, as you can see where we've clicked administered before, we're going to go in here and let you see what happens on your side when you click administer. Once your employee clicks administer, what happens is it automatically not only saves the check that they've administered, but it initials it for them. So there's no forgetting to initial, and also the time that it was supposed to be done is checked. So if there's something down here, you notice we got 2 for 7 p.m. that had to be administered, we check that and it'll initial that. If this was a controlled substance, by checking the controlled substance button here, we can now go to the controlled substance sheet and hit down next day, which will bring us up to the date that we're on. So we know that this is November 1st. And whatever we're starting with, this area will not allow you to put anything in it because it's going to fill in itself. But whatever the starting amount is that you started with for these medications for the month, let's say we started with 60. By doing so, once we've checked that off and we said we started with 60, now it's asking us certain things. Enter the amount of medication you've given. So if it only required us to give 1 tablet, then 1 tablet is all we gave. And all we do here is just like on your controlled substance sheet, it asks you to initial the on box. So while you check on, it automatically initials. And you'll notice that it has subtracted from you till you'll know what your actual controlled medication count is currently at right now. So we started with 60, now we're at 59. If the next shift comes on and has the administered medication, if they administered, of course we don't on this one, but if they had to administer 1, then here it is, boom, 1, and it takes it down again. Of course, whoever left that shift should check off and on as so. This right here will create the regular control medication sheet that you see, and it will grab it for the month. This concludes this video.